listening to Downworlder Dish, a Shadowhunter Chronicles podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 56, where we will be discussing chapter 19 in City of Glass, Peniel. I'm Kristen.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Amanda.
Hey, hey!
Hey.
Happy anniversary to us! Woohoo!
I like how that was also kind of like
Birthday?
birthday.
That was great. Because, yeah, I guess it is a birthday. It's our first birthday.
It is. It's our pod birthday.
Yeah. That's great. I can't believe it's only been a year, but I can't believe it's already been a year.
Same.
I can't believe we're almost done with City of Glass and it's only been a year.
Yeah.
Right?
That was my I don't know. It's great.
I don't know. It's kind of like a double edge. It's like amazing that these books take like months to finish.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's so quick. We're already done with the first three.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm like, dang, I can't believe we're only to this first three. But
Yeah.
of course we are. A chapter a week, and we need that whole episode.
Right. Do you remember when we were worried that we weren't going to have enough to talk about?
Oh, man. Yeah, I tried to go back and listen to our first episode recently, and I didn't get very far, but man, we're funny.
We are funny.
Yeah.
I do. Sometimes I'll listen to an episode like after, like on release day or whatever.
Uh-huh.
If I'm in the car, and I always find myself I'm much more engaged and I laugh a lot more when I'm not editing it, obviously.
Right.
But man, I texted you guys a couple weeks ago. I was like, this is like, we're so funny.
My hand hurts from patting my own back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
But I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah. We made it. We did it.
Yeah. It's been fun. Here's to another.
Yes.
Million.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers our diet drinks and water.
Woo!
Woohoo! Robin, where you at, girl?
Oh, I'm picking my eye. I got mascara in it.
Yeah, cheers.
Yes.
We fucking deserve it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't, which I'm grateful. This is fun, all of that. But I'm like, man, I didn't, this is a lot of work.
Yeah. It is.
I know I thought that last night when I was writing. Mm-hmm. My hands are cramping.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not used to typing that much. And I was like, dude, this is like...
Yeah.
But it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
But, yep.
It's a lot.
Well, it wouldn't be so much work if I didn't procrastinate and wait till the last minute and manage my time better.
Well, here's the thing. We're all the same person when it comes to that.
Yeah.
At least I'm not alone.
Like, we're recording tomorrow. We're going to record like 5 episodes, and we're all on the dock at the same time.
Yeah. Here's your sign.
That's all right. Thanks for coming along and being here and listening at this moment and making it past the first 6 episodes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
first
seriously.
book, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayhaps.
We can't believe you're still with us.
Yeah. Oh,
But we
can.
appreciate you.
We're cool. We're cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And DMing us on Instagram and leaving reviews on Apple Podcasts. We're really appreciative.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a wild year, but
It really has.
this has really kept me sane. I will say I'm so glad I've had this to focus on.
Yeah. It is crazy how this year has gone. So much crazy shit happened.
To quote a meme that I saw the other day, I am sick and tired of living through historical events.
Yes.
I'm done for the rest of my life. I don't need anything historical to happen for the rest of my fucking life. I'm done.
It's crazy. It's true. Yeah.
Over it.
Yep.
So, anywho, yeah. We just wanted to take a minute to say thank you and let you guys know that we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And, tomorrow's the anniversary.
We should have brought our birthday hats.
We should have.
Indeed.
Although we wouldn't have taken a picture because all of us have the mom bun going on right now.
Yep.
So
Well, it looks great. You
Yeah.
guys are beautiful butterflies.
you are too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh,
A beautiful potato butterfly.
Oh, shoot. Thanks, guys.
All right, so what do you say we cut the chit-chat and kick things off with Robin's recap?
Previously on Downworlder Dish.
Jace is trying to track Faux Sebastian, but when he arrives where the tracking rune took him, it suddenly stops working. But fear not, our protagonist is only delayed a short while because, like a gift from Hermes, here comes Hugin, our old murder bird friend. Jace follows him into a super creepy cave and lurks behind a rock, eavesdropping on Tang and Sebastian's plans to fuck shit up.
Fuck shit up!
Jace overhears that Tang is going to Lake Lynn to summon Raziel, and Sebastian is supposed to stay behind like a good little boy and release the demon army. Also, a little nugget of information, there were 2 boys. Yeah, I know. Hot, juicy goss, right? Anyway, Daddy Tang leaves, and Sebastian calls Jace out like, hey there, buddy. How you doing? Just eavesdropping? Okay, well, prepare to die. Back in town, Claire is able to relay a message to the Lightwoods about Jace's non-brother lover status, and is tasked with showing the class how the binding rune works. She rolls her sleeves up and gets started making partners. Jocelyn is with Luke, and Alex seeks out Magnus because they are the cutest. Raphael appears out of fucking nowhere, demanding that Simon is turned over or the Night Children won't fight. Luke refuses to give him up, but of course for drama's sake, Simon overhears and has his own thoughts on his undead life, and convinces Clary to mark him before he heads off to hand himself over.
Aw, shit.
It's just weird that she thought about doing, I don't know, like, oh, I should put this on your fucking forehead.
I think that's where it goes, right?
How does she know that? Like, the whole thing is just weird. It just all came to her.
How could anyone even know that, Napoleon?
Exactly. Exactly.
Took me like 2 seconds.
Yeah. It took me like 2 seconds to tear you down. Sorry.
So Maya, Hound Dog Roberts, is leading Simon through Brosselin Forest to his execution via scent. So what a fucking callback to our first episode, I Need a Scent. Some shit never changes, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
That's right.
I feel like we should be doing like, what was it? Snoochie Boochies. No?
What's that?
What is the thing that Crawl says in Son-in-Law when he does the...
What the
I was
fuck?
trying
Did you
to do.
seriously just reference Son-in-Law? I think I do in this episode.
Shut up!
I swear on my life.
That's
Yes.
what I was trying to
Anyway,
do.
I'm sorry.
I know! But
But I got confused.
I
with
don't
James
know.
Silent Bob.
I think he just goes, oh, he says, because she bent over and he calls her something.
I know, but I've looked for, I have to watch the movie. But as soon as I watch it and I'm like, that's what it was, I forget it immediately after.
And he's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
talks about the weasel, right? Yeah.
the weasel! Yeah.
I love it. What a good, and that's what I literally say. I'm like, if you haven't seen that movie, do it.
It's so good.
It's
We need
so
to make a
good.
list.
Yes.
We really do.
Biodome.
Fucking Encino Man, man.
Oh, shitters.
I'm getting to that point where I can watch that with, like, Adrienne and I watched The Waterboy the
Oh.
other day. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And she's like, Adam Sandler is my favorite actor.
Probably not anymore.
Like the next 15 years are going to disappoint you.
Yeah. I am a huge fan too, but
We watched Little Nicky and we watched
Yeah.
Waterboy and stuff. I'm like, well, then he starts making movies about shoes and I don't
and like
know.
death and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's too much.
Too much. So a brisk run through the trees later, they come to a clearing and Maya pulls a Jennifer Love Hewitt a la I Know What You Did Last Summer, screaming into the darkness for Raphael. Again, another one. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's great.
Yes.
It just reminds me of course, my life is still dominated by Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
Where they're screaming for his son. And she's like, you shouldn't do that.
Dude, are you fucking stupid? There's dinosaurs.
One, you literally just hit one with your fucking plane. And then you're going to start screaming for your son where the dinosaurs are going to come
With
eat
a
you.
bazooka thingy. That's not what it's called.
megaphone?
but yeah.
Bazooka.
Sorry, this got off topic.
Anyway.
So Raphael and his vamps emerge from the shadows to take custody of the hostage formerly known as Simon. And of course, Maya chooses this as the time to try and talk Simon out of sacrificing himself for the good of humanity. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. But like, you had the whole trip into the woods to talk him out of this. Why wait until you get there?
Maybe reality will set in. Yeah, drama.
So Simon and Raphael catch up. I mean, to be fair, a lot has happened since Raphael came to visit Simon in the pen. I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it in. Not every joke lands, people. Their conversation basically goes a little something like this. Raphael, close your eyes and think of your happy place. This will only hurt a little. Simon, oh shit, you're really gonna kill me, huh? Raphael, oh, terribly sorry. Did I not make myself clear when I called you an abomination? Nothing personal, man, just business. Simon, yeah, heard you the first time. Raphael, okay, let's do this. Remember, think of your happy place, yeah? Simon, wait, I need to show you something first. Raphael, I swear to God, Daylighter, if it's another set of glow-in-the-dark dice. Simon, trying not to look too much like Harry Potter while pushing his bangs out of the way to reveal the mark of Cain. Look what Clary drew. Raphael stares in religious horror. That bitch. So, that was...
Woo! That's basically how it went.
I wanted to give you a quick... It was a lot. It was a lot of back and forth, and they were saying the same thing over again, and boys just talk too much sometimes, so... Especially Raphael.
Yeah.
Because he likes to be all poetic and shit. So some of the other vamps wanted to try and kill Simon anyway, but Raphael is not trying to die, and he squashes it. He's like, I mean, if you really want to, but, like, it's not a good idea. But he's not done making Simon pay for his treachery. It goes a little something like this. Raphael, Luke tricked us. What a son of a gun. Simon, this was all me, Santiago. Luke didn't even know. So you gotta hold up your end of the deal and fight. Raphael, I might not... Fuck. Raphael, I might not be alive, but I'm a man of my word. We'll fight, but so will your bitch ass. Remember... maybe we'll get lucky and a demon will murder you for us. Okay, anyway. So, back to Jace's point of view. He's regaining consciousness and coughing up blood, and which is, always a good sign.
Yeah.
Simon tied Jace up while he was out. Oh! Why?
Fanfic. It's happening.
It's funny you say that. Sebastian tied Jace up while he was out so he could... What? Just stop. So he could force Jace to talk about their respective childhoods. Methinks Sebastian had a fair share of daddy issues too.
You sound like Yoda. Jar Jar Binks. Methinks. Oh,
so my section is getting rather long, and I'm going to do a Cliff Notes version of Sebastian and Jace's brotherly love sesh, not to be confused with my upcoming fanfic, Jerking the Jonathans. And that is when a joke lands.
That's great. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, okay.
Someone draw that for us, please.
Oh, dude, this is like...
It's long. I told you.
A lot of these
Why don't
were
you play
long.
a character? Like, you could be Jace and you could be Sebastian.
No, it's funnier when and Kristen does the whole thing.
Okay. So Sebastian's like, Dad didn't teach you anything, did he, angel boy with an eye? I'm like so much better than you in every way. Which he just stole Jace's line, to be honest.
Yeah, he did. That's true.
And
Copyright infringements.
Right. Jace is like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? What rock did he keep you under while I grew up in a literal mansion? Sebastian's like, I grew up in the valley, girl. But I knew... But, like, I knew all about your weak-ass emotions. So Jace... Fuck. And Jace is like, oh, really? Dad must hate you because he never said anything about your evil ass. Sebastian is like, not crazy about the direction this conversation is going in, so I'm going to do something super duper evil right now, okay? And he goes over and he chants in some unknown demon language and chops off the top of a stalagmite with his massive sword, releasing a horde of bloodthirsty demons.
That's weird.
And Jace is just sitting there with like a Pikachu surprise face. And Sebastian's like, behold, I was supposed to wait until midnight, but I want to see some blood spilled on the battlefield. Woohoo! Who wants a shot?
Jaeger bomb.
Shots.
And Jace is just kind of like,
fuck, dude?
And Sebastian's like, I couldn't have done it without you, though. You're the Casey to my bro. You led me right to Hodge. And if you hadn't gotten the info about Lake Lynn out of him, we'd still be looking for the third mortal instrument. Props, bro. Oh, and I almost forgot. The angel is like this dope-ass genie, and he grants you a wish when you summon him. Fire, right?
Dude, it is true. He is. Like, that's how I imagine it when they describe it. It's crazy.
And Jason's...
He, like, doesn't have legs. He's just a trail of, like, wind.
Right. So Jason's like, so Valentine is going to ask the angel to help him defeat the Shadowhunters on Brosselin Plain? And Sebastian's like, psh, as if. We don't need the angel to beat the Nephilim. An inexhaustible supply of demons, remember? We're going to make sure anyone who isn't one of Dad's followers gets stripped of their powers and becomes a dumb Monday. Jason's like, our dad wouldn't do that. And Sebastian's like, who's Dad? And Jason's like, our dad. Who the fuck have you been talking about this whole time? And Sebastian's like, oh, right. I forgot that you're completely in the dark and I'm an asshat, so I have to drag this whole thing out for my own sick and twisted entertainment because my dad hated me and I'm evil incarnate. Whoops. Anywho, Valentine isn't your real dad. I mean, we both know you're not good enough to be Valentine's son, obviously. Jason's like, the fuck? And Sebastian's over here like, I'm way better than you in every way, and to prove it to you, I'm going to kill you while you're tied up, okay?
Almost done.
Almost done.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's way better. Yeah, you're doing such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Jace is all, you're really going to be a little bitch like that? What would Dad say? Which I really like that they're playing the sides of Valentine that they know against each other. It's real interesting.
Yeah, and it's weird that Jace, like, wants to have a connection to Valentine, even...
I think he just wants to swing his dick around.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's just
true.
the way he can
That's
do
fair.
it with Sebastian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely using it as like a, I got one over on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Jace is like, oh, really? You're going to be a little bitch like that? What would Dad say? And Sebastian starts sweating in childhood trauma. And he's like, he'll never know. And besides, he doesn't even love you like that. Obviously. Jace is like, are you sure about that? You are a self-proclaimed evil overlord in training, trademark. And if you think Dad won't know, you're wrong. He knows everything. Tang doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He has a magic bird that sees everything. And Sebastian searches in the shadows for Hugo. Fucking birds, man. And Jace is all, untie me and fight me like a man, you little bitch. And with Jace's last words still ringing in the air, Sebastian brought the blade of his sword down in an arc and end scene.
Of course it is. Yeah, so we're back to the other scene, I guess. I guess it's kind of Clary's point of view. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Isabel and some other teenagers went to the Penhallows house to watch over some of the younger children, as they should be. And Clary didn't feel like being around strangers, so she just stayed in the Accords Hall alone.
Mm-hmm.
You are so fucking annoying. Like, come on.
Be useful.
Yeah. So apparently the ceiling, roof, whatever is like made of glass.
Like a city of glass?
Yeah. So Clary could see when the sky changed and a demon was flying over the building. And I'm not sure if I read that correctly or if a demon is just like climbing on top. Like the sky changed and then there was a demon.
So I think the demons were released from the stalagmite, which is fucking weird. I'm not into that.
Yep.
And they're like a horde. So it's like the big, like, imagine like bats.
So they are flying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And
Okay.
then there's like just a swarm of them. So like the pressure and the heat and stuff coming off of them just...
And that's why the sky's turning
shatters it,
orange
yeah.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the ceiling and the glass completely broke. So then we go back over to Jace's POV. And obviously he's with Sebastian. And he's pretty TO that Jace keeps passing out. And Jace realizes that they're outside now near the stone house. And Sebastian tells him that he brought him there for two reasons. One, he enjoyed knocking him out, which doesn't really make sense to me because you dragged him from like this dungeon-y type area outside. Like it just seems like it would have been easier to be like, go.
Right.
Go. Here's my sword in your back. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then knock him out when you get out there. Is weird. And for two, because he didn't want to get blood on the cavern floor. He's like, you and I both would be in big, deep trouble. Deep doo-doo. Daddy would be mad.
Right.
Well, like he's saying basically if he dies, like he can just blame it like he died in the battle.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. He does, yeah.
Although Hugo would still see him regardless. So,
It's
I
just
don't
weird.
know. Jace is trying to make it so he still stays alive.
He kind of is.
Yeah.
So Sebastian must have taken all of Jace's weapons while he was knocked out, which, duh. Because he's like, oh, either he took them or they fell out while he was dragging me. And I'm like, dude, you wore them on a fucking belt. They weren't hidden. Of course he took them from you.
Right.
Don't be stupid.
Why are we even having this thought?
Exactly. Dumbass. So he quickly saw an opportunity and he hit Sebastian in the face and knocked him backwards. And the blow also knocked the sword out of Sebastian's hands. So Jace was able to get it. And creepy Sebastian was like, dude, kill me. Just kill me. And he like pulls his shirt down or some shit and he's like, stab me here or something. I don't know. It's weird. It was weird. Like, doesn't he even value his own life? I know you're part demon, but still, it's just whatever. If I'm gonna die by anyone, I want it to you, brother. Weird. Okay. Anyway, the good person that he is, Jace hesitates because, murder. And so Sebastian took this opportunity to attack Jace and was able to get the sword back. So it's just like, they're just rolling around, basically. Yep. So... Jace decides to use his skills with a Z and jumped straight in the motherfucking air into this tree. And it's just like a branch, though. He's like on a branch. And I imagine he's sitting like this. And I'm going to get up and show you.
Okay.
Because it's this important to me. I imagine he's like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if we got the crack of your knee
Dude,
on
seriously, that was loud. Anyway, he's sitting like a cat, I guess, on this branch is what I'm imagining. Like his hands between his feet. Anyway, he had gotten the dagger. I lost my spot because I was so excited about getting up. Anyway, he got the dagger and threw it down at Sebastian. And he could hear Sebastian be like, oh, fuck. And then all of a sudden, this motherfucker was up there in the tree with him. Like, clearly Jace did some damage with the dagger, but not murder damage.
Right.
So obviously they have the same
but a
skills. Like, what? I guess maybe the same physical skills.
Yeah.
So demon and angels did that much the same that they can give them the same physical skills. Anyway, I guess that's why they can fight so well together, because it's just really back and forth. Yeah,
That's how Jace is sitting on the...
He's so cute. And his knees didn't crack or anything.
Lucky.
He's still young and spry.
Yeah.
Shit, fucking my hip cracks when I get that low. It's like, pop.
So, the two of them start the Valentine-trained version of a chicken fight. And eventually, they roll towards the river and are mermaiding it, like half in, half out. And Jace had his hands around Sebastian's throat. So...
Mermaid dancing from Pitch Perfect. She's on the floor. It's a lot of floor work.
I've not seen that.
Me
But
either.
is
You've
never
that
seen
Rebel
Pitch
Wilson?
Perfect? Yes.
I love her.
How have you never seen Pitch Perfect?
You know what's weird is I think I've seen the second one. Because it was on TV.
I own it. I will let you borrow it. It
Great.
is so good.
Is that what we do nowadays? We borrow movies from each other? You just stream it to me? Tell me what streaming service it's on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm old.
Yeah. So they're in the water, half in, half out, and they're still chicken fighting, whatever. And I just imagine, you guys probably don't watch it, but Family Guy, obviously my family is big into Family Guy, and where Peter just constantly fights with this chicken, and it's hilarious.
And
It goes through the whole city.
And it is way too long of a scene.
Nobody wants to watch how long that is. That's what I imagine.
It's like
right
15
here.
minutes.
Yeah.
It's not, but it feels like
It's like half the episode, yeah. So anyway, Jace has his hand around Sebastian's throat. So Sebastian broke his fucking wrist. Whoa. Like he bent it backwards. Which happened to me when I broke my finger, but I wasn't in an actual fight. Anyway. So, so now Sebastian has the dagger. A lot of back and forth here. And it was directly pointed. He has it directly pointed at Jace's heart. And Sebastian's like, any last words? And I'm just like, look. I am no murderer, but if I were, I would not give my prey the time to get away. Calling all murderers. This is a call for all of you. Please tell us why this is a thing. Why?
Amanda's words do not reflect that of Downworlder Dish. We would like to ask that no murderers contact us. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I'll write to Dateline and ask them to ask the murderer. Okay. Keith Morrison. Morrison, thank you. Please do my dirty work.
Chandler's stepdad.
God, I love him. Okay, so anyway, Luke is like, bro.
No. You said Luke.
God damn it. Just got Luke on the brain. Okay, so Jace, he's like, bro, I'm not a Wayland. And Sebastian, because he says something about, like, any last words, Wayland, I think is what he says. And he's like, dude, I'm not a Wayland. And Sebastian is like, well, you weren't a Morgenstern either. I don't know. Like, come on. You didn't think you were Valentine's only child, did you? Which is weird that he says that after we already established earlier in the chapter. It was a weird thing to say. Anyway, he's like, you're such a little bitch. You're not even worthy of being his son.
I like that in both of our attempts to capture this story, the relationship between Sebastian and Jace is, you little bitch.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so he actually said that in not such a nice way. I think I put it more nicely, honestly. So anyway, in fact, it was so intense that I'm going to give you the pleasure of listening to me reading it. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Okay. He says, my father butchered a corpse to get you and make you one of his experiments. He tried to raise you as his own son, but you were too weak to be any good to him. You couldn't be a warrior. You were nothing. Useless. So he palmed you off on the Lightwoods and hoped you might be of some use to him later as a decoy or bait. He never loved you.
Fuck.
Which is just like... jealous, bro. Like, God, my dad didn't love you. It's like when you said William said he was jealous of Adriana. Like, it's just, you're just jealous of your brother. That's it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that's so cute. Get over it, bro. He loved him. Like, let's move on. Who cares?
Well, it's funny because of what Jocelyn just said. Like, one of the reasons why he decided to experiment with Jace was because he wanted a son that would love him and that he could love, and he couldn't love Jonathan.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, it's also very interesting to me, and I don't know if I bring it up later or what, but I find it interesting that Valentine decided to tell Sebastian about Jace, but not vice versa, because you would think you'd want to tell the good guy about the poor little bad guy over there. Like, I just can't get him to be good. And I also would think you would try to bring Jace over to try to maybe have an influence on Sebastian as kids together. But maybe he was afraid of what Sebastian would do to Jace.
I think that is, yeah.
But then why tell Sebastian that he existed?
I think to try to get him jealous of Jace to make him behave more like Jace.
Interesting.
Because I think that's what he was really trying. He was like, okay, so I've got these two kids that are on different ends. Like, obviously Jace was not as cold as Valentine would have wanted, but he was way more in the range than Sebastian is on the other end of the spectrum. So I think he was trying to, like, get him to be, because we learned through Jocelyn that he had been, like, teaching Sebastian how to, like, pretend to be, like, a human.
Right, basically.
Right? And, like, have feelings or whatever. Like, pretend like he does. So I think he was trying to get, because Sebastian is very competitive, obviously. We can see. I think he was trying to use that, but I think it backfired, and he goes, definitely can't let them meet, because he's definitely going to kill him.
Yeah, his jealousy will take over for sure. Yeah. So Jace realizes that Sebastian is the real Jonathan Morgenstern. And he's like, whoa, so you're the one with the demon blood, not me. And Sebastian, like, proudly admits it's true. He's like, yep. And he says that Jace is the angel boy that would cry over a dying bird. And he thinks Valentine was ashamed of him. So I guess this is also a question. So it's like Valentine just went back and, like, okay, so here's what we did today. And this is what Jace did. Like, it's just weird. Okay, so.
It is weird that he's coming back and reporting on what Jace did that day.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, I guess he doesn't have anyone to talk to. Neither of them really have anyone to talk to. So maybe, but it still seems very strange. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, he thinks Valentine was ashamed of him, and Jace is like, bitch, please. Valentine was ashamed of you. That's why he didn't bring you to the lake, and he didn't want you to see the angel. Bro, he has a dagger to your heart, okay? Don't make him any more angry. Just like chill. Just like tell him what a good guy he is and like stroke his face and just be like, I know, brother. You're so like evil. I'm so proud of you for your evilness. Like a little minion. So anyway.
Except it's like banana.
Yeah. So, of course, Sebastian presses the dagger into Jace because, like, you're being a dick. So, why? Of course he did. And blood is coming out of his mouth, so that's not good. And Sebastian tells him to think about how much he loves Clary and that she loves him back as he's dying. Like, think about that as your last thought.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
It's another thing. The murderer, like, oh, think about this. Is like, just do it, bro. Like, come on. You're just waiting for something else to happen. Mm-hmm. All right, well, suddenly, Jace can't feel any more pain, and he all of a sudden sees, like, Sebastian's hand floating or something. I don't know. And he realizes it was Isabel to save the day. She uses her whip and legit took off Sebastian's hand with it.
I like it.
How fucking badass is that?
Like, how hard did she have to, like...
Yeah. Well, what's funny is Jace, like, looks up and he can see her boots, and I just think that's super hot. Good for her. Yeah. So, she's obviously been thinking about this moment for, like, probably days, but, like, it feels like forever now because we've stretched it out for so long. And so she says, I quote, "That was for Max, you bastard."
Fuck yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that was a great thing to say, but that is literally the only insult that does not apply to this motherfucker. He's not a bastard.
Oh, shit.
Oh, is that...
We laughed too loud.
Oh. Anyway, so I just thought that was funny. Like, that's what you thought of after all this time, you bastard.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
You literally could have called him the Spawn from hell and it would have been more accurate.
Yes. So I imagine that it was kind of like a Rumpelstiltskin shit that he would do, and Sebastian just kind of like disappeared into the bushes or the trees or some shit. And I imagine he's kind of like hobbling because obviously his hand's gone, but I don't know.
You're talking about Rumpelstiltskin on Strack, aren't you?
Any of them, but
okay.
Yes.
Or the one from, what was that show called?
Once Upon a Time.
Oh, I never saw him, I don't think.
Dude.
I don't know if I got that far.
He's like this little old, like, shopkeeper.
Maybe I do know, yeah. Anyway, I imagine he was just some, like, little, like, I don't know, hobbly. That's what I thought of.
Oh, my God.
So he runs away into the bushes and he disappears. And while drawing an Arazi on Jace, Isabel tells him that he's not actually Valentine's son. Like, that's the first, she's like, dude, guess what happened? I gotta tell you that she's May. And she admitted that she had Magnus help her track Jace using the wooden toy that Max had in his hand when he died. And she knew that Jace wouldn't have wanted her to do it, but she had to tell him the truth about everything. And most importantly, what she thought was the most important was that he and Clary were not related. Like, I know you asked me not to do this and I risked my life and all this stuff, but I had to tell you, you weren't a sister lover. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, it's totally cool if you bone. They didn't bone. See, it's from the movie. That's what I said. It's from the movie Son-in-Law. And if you haven't seen it, do it. They didn't bone. I just love it. Okay. So Isabel was caught mid-sentence and I'm laughing at myself here. I'm sorry. Okay. Wait. He isn't dead. Shia's surprised. There's a gun to his head and death in his eye. But Jace can do jujitsu. Sorry. Also, if you haven't seen what is it called? The actual title of it. Killings... Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, it's just called Shia LaBeouf.
Okay. YouTube it. It's freaking hilarious. You'll have it stuck in your head forever.
Cantor, and then you'll know all of our jokes.
Yes. So anyway, Jace can't actually do jujitsu, I don't think anyway. That was just for my purposes. But Sebastian comes back. He wasn't dead. And I put Sebastian came back and Isabel.
Okay, so before you go any further, I do want to note when Isabel's telling Jace about, like, I had to tell you that Clary wasn't, it's so that he wouldn't die, like, or whatever, knowing he was a demon.
Okay,
right.
That's
like,
fair.
Yeah, it's like you weren't, you're not a demon, you're not, like,
that's
tainted or whatever, sissy. Clary's not your sissy, like, you're a good person.
Okay.
And also, she definitely lied to Magnus and told him that Alec wanted...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she did that, too. Yeah, she had to use her skills.
Yeah. Alec would want this. He wants me to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which is like now, okay, you left the kids now, Isabel. Come on. Anyway.
Like, we all know Aline's gonna run off like a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's scared.
Oh,
It's true.
shots fired.
She's scared.
She is.
I don't blame her, but she's scared.
Okay, so, guys. Sebastian is back. Shy surprise. And he's attacking Isabel. And Jace is able to get up, and he got a hold of the dagger. And he tried his best to go fight for Izzy, but he couldn't do it. The Arazzi helped, but it couldn't get all, like... He could tell from all of the blood and everything that he must have had a punctured lung, and then he blacks out.
Because I don't think she wasn't able to finish it. Like, it was a half done.
And then he came back, and Shia surprised her.
What I thought was weird, or not weird, but it's like, okay, so Isabel... I don't want to step on, so I'm reading. Okay, so Isabel was able to literally lop his hand off.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But
with a whip.
But he is whipping her as she's laying on the ground.
Oh,
Yeah, so he got her whip.
He got her whip, and he's whipping her. So it's like, if Isabel's able to cut off a body part, why isn't he able to cut off a body part?
Maybe it's her weapon.
Okay,
so he knows.
So what happened was he's got his arm, and you're gonna stab Jace, right? And so
has to be her right hand.
Use the hand that's closer to me, please. My short arms can't handle it.
Dinosaur.
So if I use my whip, the whip comes here and comes around, and then you yank it, and that's when you cut.
But you think he would be able to do that? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like he could do lots of damage with the whip.
I agree.
If
like he's
Isabel's
cutting her right
able
now
to do that much damage, he's got like.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe she just has more expertise with it. I don't know. What? Okay, so anyway, as Jace is like out, basically, he thought about that night with Clary, and somehow that gave him the strength to come back, of course, right? Mm-hmm. And he could hear Sebastian telling Isabel that he should have smashed her in the face with a freaking hammer when he had the chance. And I'm just like, whoa.
This escalated quickly.
Seriously.
Right.
So Jace was able to work up the energy to stab Sebastian in the back, and then he passed out for real.
Okay, but it's so much better than that. Hold on.
I wrote this at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know. Hold on, I'm finding it. Hold on. Read that last paragraph.
Out loud.
Oh, yeah. So Jace is thinking of, obviously, what his dad had taught him. He taught me there's a place on a man's back where if you sink in a blade, you can pierce his heart and sever his spine all at once, Sebastian had said. I guess we got the same birthday present that year, big brother.
I got a bathtub full of spaghetti and a knife lesson.
Oh, shit.
What did you get? Who did daddy love more?
Oh, shit. Do you even like spaghetti? Like, come on.
I know your knee's weak.
Yeah.
Mom spaghetti?
Yeah.
If we ever get to 1 million downloads, I'll take a bath in spaghetti noodles.
That would be very expensive.
Yeah.
If we're at 1 million, I think we could expense it for the business.
You could make your own spaghetti noodles.
Oh, fuck. Do you know how much work that would
I
be? No, thanks. I'm not hand cranking that many fucking noodles.
Okay, so for the time being, we're done with the Morgenstern siblings. Not siblings. Fight. Anyway, so we're back to Simon, and he's comparing his D&D battle skills with a Z and experience to what the real life battle is turning out to be. Spoiler alert, they are not at all similar. It reminds me of that movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson, where he goes all commando on the British troops, because typically they just take turns shooting at each other.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Anywho, chaos is spilling over the valley. Chaos. There's screaming. The blood is so thick with dirt that it's turning into a paste.
So gross.
So gross. Simon's hope that they would be greeted with a lieutenant or something, like someone in charge, faded quickly as he was pulled into the fray. Not that fray. Okay, so hands are pulling him and like shoving him out of the way as the vampires spring into action.
Okay, for me, the way they describe it, it feels like a mosh pit at a festival.
Right.
And you get sucked into the mosh pit and you're like, fuck.
You just gotta go.
Yeah. I feel like this is what this is.
Okay, so I need your help. Mm-hmm. Guys, every time I read this book, it makes me want to read the story of Cain and Abel. Because as much as I think we went over it a little bit, like in Sunday school, I can't remember anything, and I'm only reminded of Jax from Sons of Anarchy naming his kid Abel. But what I want to know is, how does the mark work? Like, is it determining what touches are painful? Like, what if one of the people pushing Simon accidentally hurt him? Would that incur the wrath of the mark? Or does it somehow know the intent behind the movement?
I think it's about intent. As far as I know, from what I can remember of being in Christian school, is Cain couldn't die. Like he couldn't die, and so he was immortal or whatever. I don't know if that meant that he was like, he's not going to die physically, like, of old age, and he's not going to die from someone hurting him, because the mark will step in before that happens. But I've seen some adaptations of, like, this kind of thing. Like, in Lucifer, they do, like, a whole Cain storyline or whatever, and he dies but then comes, like, heals and comes back to life, like kind of like a vampire would do.
Okay.
So, like, he feels the pain of dying, but it doesn't, you know, it lasts a minute, and then, you know, he has to heal back from that or whatever. But in terms of the story, I believe he's just lonely and walks the earth forever because he can't die, and so anything that tries to kill him is going to get back sevenfold. But I think intent is part of it. But I mean, if you accidentally drop
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if you accidentally?
I think it flies up and, like, murders you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Which is maybe why he has to be, like, isolated, because he can't get close to anybody, because if they accidentally hurt him, they will fucking die. I don't know. Moving on. There's too much. Okay. I'll figure it out later.
I feel like it's definitely more nuanced than that, but I haven't read the Bible in too long.
Never.
Yeah. So, guys, there are demons everywhere. And of course, Simon is getting overwhelmed by his vampy senses and wishes he could turn them off. The chaos and sound of battle is disorienting him and causing him to stumble over a body. A Shadowhunter whose upper body from the shoulders, like up, is torn completely off. And Simon's stomach turns at the sight, and he comments that he must be the only vampire in history to be sickened by the sight of blood.
Yeah.
So, Simon's pulled from his thoughts by getting yeeted into a pit by a demon skeleton carrying a hatchet. A raged up juggalo, if you will.
Oh, fuck.
Simon narrowly misses the axe coming down, and the skeleton is pummeled by a giant wooden club carried by an unknown Shadowhunter dude. And he asks our vampy friend if he's doing all right, then lifts him up, throwing him up the edge of, like, the pit, like, cliff, whatever. And the man's like, ha ha ha. My new partner's a person/wolf, and I'm just getting used to the extra strength. I don't know why he has to sound like that, but he does. Anyway, they have a brief conversation, and the Shadowhunter man is thanking Simon for fighting. And he's just like, you're a vampire, right? And Simon's like, how did you know? And he says he can tell because of his fangs. They come out when vampires fight. He knows because... Awkward silence. Right? Anyway... the whole reason is, like I said, the guy just wanted to say thank you. And Simon meant to tell him that he, like, hadn't really done much, like, whatever. But before he could get any words out, he's attacked by nightmare bullets. That's to say, a flying demon who snatches him up to probably take him to a nest and eat him. And Simon's like, dude, what the fuck am I supposed to do? He can't pick anyone out from the crowd, but he notices and he feels lost and, like, worthless and overwhelmed. And then he remembers what he had told Clary. This was his battle too, and he couldn't afford to act like mundane human Simon anymore. He had to embrace his inner vampire and slay this shit.
Slay.
So he turned and attacked an oncoming reptile demon, sinking his fangs into its nasty tasting blood. Insane. And we're transported back to Clary's point of view, where she's still on the dais. The glasses finally stop falling around her, and she gets up and, like, brushes the dirt off her shoulder.
Brush that glass off your shoulder.
And then she decides this place is no longer a safe bet. So she decides that she should probably go to the penthouse and sit with the other teenagers.
You think?
She's listening to Amanda.
Yeah.
Anyway, the angel light was blown out. From which light? Sorry. Anyway, from the glass explosion. So Clary has to pick her way through the Accords Hall.
I don't understand. How is it blown out? Like, okay.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Anyway.
They have severed hands that are holding... Anyway. Okay. When she was halfway across... When she was halfway across the hall, she starts to hear footsteps, like, pitter-pattering on the marble floor. it's Malachi. It's your guy, Malachi. Clary's like, this motherfucker is vicious, malicious, and suspicious. I'm going to make like a cranberry and linger.
Oh. Dude, I did not realize until we said that, like, how many fucking references we make in this goddamn show.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life, by song lyrics.
Right?
That was the Flight of the Conchords. It's gonna get vicious and malicious. Cut the crap, bitch. I need my red delicious. Anyway. Fucking hell. Okay, so of course, you guys, Clary's instincts pay off because who's accompanying him? I'll tell you. It's Hugin, the murder bird.
This fucking guy is like in 2 places at once?
Yep.
Bird?
And what's this trickery? A ring? This shit looks painfully familiar. And just as she suspects, Valentine comes glimmering into the room like a vampire on Twilight.
Fucking so stupid.
And as the lion from the Cave of Wonders on Aladdin says, "Who dares disturb my slumber?"
He's so grumpy. You'd think he'd want some company after all those years of being alone.
He's like, "I'm busy. What do you
I'm
want?"
busy sleeping.
He doesn't actually say that, but that's okay. Anyway. Oh, you're talking about the lion?
The lion, yeah.
Yeah. Malika is like, "Listen, boss. I wouldn't bug you if I didn't think it was some, like, extra juicy hot goss. And I have to tell you, this shit is hot off the press. Your son, my lord, your other son, that is, Hugin tracked him to the cave. I think he followed you through the tunnels to the lake," quoth the raven. And V-Tang is like, "Sigh, fucking kids.
Dude, seriously.
Did they find each other? Did he find his brother?" Malachi's like, "Yeah, he did. And when Hugin left, they were fighting."
Okay, fine. That's where Hugin was.
And Clary's like, "Dude, Sebastian threw Jace like a rag doll the last time they fought each other. This is bad news bears." She was so focused on her panic that she missed the next part of their conversation, which, come on, Clary, we want the goss. Pay attention.
Seriously.
Right?
Anyway, the council is sharing his disapproval of what might happen to the Shadowhunters that are marked but not old enough to vote on the council's decision. It's been like weighing on his conscience. It seems unfair to punish them when they weren't able to make any decision, like, in the whole thing.
Yeah, they couldn't decide to go with V-Tang, right?
Right, they couldn't vote. So V-Tang's like, "Dude, don't worry, I thought about that too. But they're more lightly marked, so it stands to reason that it would take them longer to be turned into Forsaken. It's fine. They have time to, like, pledge allegiance to the Tang."
Wait.
To the Tang! That's the title of this episode. I pledge allegiance to the Tang.
I'm confused. And it's been a little while since I read this part right here. How would a Shadowhunter turn into a Forsaken?
So they're going to, like, Valentine wants Raziel to make he wants to make them mundane again. And since they're marked, they'll turn into Forsaken because they're not they don't have Shadowhunter blood.
Okay.
Except the Shadowhunters that have drank from the cup.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's starting fresh.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Malachi's like, okay. But what about those of us who've already drunk from the mortal cup? Are we really going to be okay?
I don't know. That seems unnecessary. Like, why do it before everybody else? Like, I don't know.
Well, because since he's so marked, he'll turn into a Forsaken immediately is what they think is going to happen.
Oh,
so if he drunk the cup before, then he's safe.
Okay.
And Valentine is like, "Bro, I don't have time for this. I'm in the end stages of pulling off my evil plan. Fuck all. I told you that your loyalty will be rewarded. Have some faith, George Michael. Deuces." And Claire is reeling from the information dump she just received when she's attacked by Hugo.
Of course she is.
Yeah. And Malachi's like, "Hugin, enough, Hugin!" And I just imagine, like, me spraying my cat with water. Like, anyway. But I wouldn't do this next part, so I take that back. Anyway. There was a thump noise in silence, and Clary looked down and saw the bird slumped on the floor. And as much as a dick that raven is, like, it's like, don't attack an animal. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So Malachi kicked the raven in what was described as savagely out of the way, and then came over to Clary. And he grabs...
This fucking bird is basically just doing what you trained it to do. Like,
Right.
It thinks she's evil.
It's a murder bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not his fault
Right.
he was brought up that way. So Malachi grabs a hold of Clary's bleeding wrist and then, like, helps her to her feet. And he's like, "Stupid girl. How long have you been there listening?" And she's like, "Long enough to know that you're in the circle and on the wrong side." And Malachi's like, "Oh, you sweet summer child. There's only one side. The Clave have completely gone off the rails, pandering to Downworlders, and I'm trying to do is make it pure and return us to our former glory. You'd think that we'd like everybody would be into that, but you're all demon lovers, Luke Greymark followers, and now you've sent everyone to battle for no reason. Raziel is going to rise, and the Nephilim will become forsaken, all except those under V-Tang's protection. He's going to make a new world of Shadowhunters, cleansed from weakness and corruption. And Claire's like, whoa, dude. Weakness and corruption isn't within the world. It's within people. The world needs good people, and you psychopaths are going to kill them all. Malakah's like, pch, that's rich coming from you. Someone who would betray her own father. Then he yanks on her wrist, and it's like, I wonder if Daddy Tang would mind if I taught you, eh? And then he's cut off by Hugo, who is out for vengeance, cawing and clawing at Malachi's face, pushing him backward until he trips and falls onto a jagged piece of broken glass, piercing his neck. And Hugo's circling it like in victory. He's like doing victory laps.
Look what I did, bitches!
And Clary thinks to herself,
Who's the bitch now?
Clary thinks to herself how foolish she was to mess with one of Valentine's creatures. Time was running out, and Clary had to do what she does best, run into action with little to no planning. She remembered Alex saying there were wards around Lakeland, and if anyone portaled there, an alarm would go off. Valentine was probably already there, so she had precious little time to lose. Clary turned and ran toward the portal.
Of course she did.
Oh, shitters.
Caca, motherfucker.
I like it.
Oh, good times.
That was good.
Yeah. We're really, like, okay, every time we end, I'm like, oh, we're getting close. Anyway.
There was a lot of actions that happened in this one.
Yeah. There was a lot of lengthy
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are just repeating each other over and over
Literally.
again.
Stop.
Somebody just murder somebody already so we can talk about it.
Right.
I want to watch you die. Okay. Make sure that you've read Chapter 20, Weighed in Balance, for next week's episode.
For behind-the-scenes content and the latest updates, check us out on Instagram at Downworlder Dish Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.